America.
America, indeed. Have you seen that TV show Fallout?
I have not. Is it good?
Yeah. So, okay. First off, I guess, have you played the Fallout video games?
I've never played that either. No.
Okay, gotcha. Well, the TV show's based off the video game series. There's, I want to say, 5 or 6 Fallout games.
Oh wow. Okay.
They're
All
really
right.
good. I've played 2 of them, and so you kind of have to know the backstory of that. You can watch the TV show and just enjoy it for what it is, but there's a lot of cool stuff that's just essentially the reference from the video game series. But yeah, one heck of a freaking show, man.
Sweet. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, if you like it, did you enjoy watching like The Walking Dead?
A little bit. I did that.
Okay.
I'm really. It's hard on me to watch TV. My attention span sucks.
All right, yeah. Well, if you like that one, it's essentially the new version of The Walking Dead. It's pretty gory, pretty sci-fi-y,
That's all right.
some pretty stuff like that. So if you enjoy that, you'll really enjoy that show.
Okay. Is that on? What is that on? Is it like on a Netflix or what?
Yeah, it's
Amazon
on
Prime?
Amazon Prime. Yeah,
Sweet. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
dude, it's huge. It's really good. They just finished season 2, and I am losing my mind because we just finished watching it all, and they're literally just starting to film season 3. So we have a ways until they actually come out with it. But
Awesome.
it's really good. I like that show. Oh man.
So is that one of those video games where it's like playing a movie pretty much?
Yeah. It's an open world,
Okay.
a lot of dialogue, a lot of different, a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, it's kind of like, I guess you can consider it like a movie. It's an open world for you to go and kind of do whatever you want to do with side missions and quests and
Interesting,
stuff.
alright.
So
I have never. I haven't played video games in so long. I haven't tried to play one of those yet.
I don't get, obviously I'm so busy, I never get a chance to play a whole lot. On occasion, Saturday nights after this show, I'll turn a game on for an hour or two, but that's maybe like once or twice a month, so I don't get to play very often. But those games, man, I mean, those open worlds, you can log 80 to 100 hours into them, for all the quests and all the storylines and everything in there, and, you can sink some time into those games.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been since like Nintendo since I started playing video games.
Yeah, those
I
open
haven't
world
done
ones,
any of
man,
that.
it's crazy. Yeah, you can pretty much go anywhere you want to and do pretty much anything. It's kind of neat.
So how do you know you got points or you're winning, or how does that work?
So just as you do quests, then you build up, you level up essentially, so you can build stronger things, you can make your health stronger, you can build stronger
okay.
armor. So it's just as you do things, you just build up certain points, your health points or your building points or your armor points or your weapons points. So that way as you go, then you can just level things up in particular ways that you want to and become stronger as you go on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. It's fun. Again,
Interesting,
I'm not a huge video game player. I don't get a lot of chance to do a lot of it, but when I do, those are the kind of games I do and just get sucked into a world and just go off and do whatever the heck you want.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
All right.
that's neat. That's a good time.
No, I keep myself busy with all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah.
People ask me why I don't remodel my house. Well, it's because I don't stay there. I sleep there. That's about it.
You go home to sleep, but you know what? That's a good thing. You're out and about doing stuff and just living life.
That's what it's all about for me.
Heck yeah. And the radio keeps us busy enough.
Boy, it does me.
Mm-hmm. All right, what are we talking about today? Let's do this.
Your SRN program begins in 60 seconds.
Here we go. Here we go. Everybody
Here
on
we
the
go.
That's right. Let's get her done. That's right. It's rocking it. Everybody on the video stream that we just popped up there, welcome aboard. Oh, I didn't get us on the Podbean live stream. That would probably help.
Your SRN program begins in 30 seconds.
Boom. There we go. All right. That's up and live, ready to go too.
Your SRN program begins in 10 seconds. Your SRN program will begin in 5, 4.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, in the Hooser Media Network studios, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your weekend edition of the Voice of Reason. As usual, happy Valentine's weekend. So, guys, remember on your way home from whatever you're doing this weekend, make sure to stop by the gas station and pick up like a bag of chocolates or something, right? Is that the way you do it? No, I'm sorry. All right, well, hey, at least it's a tip. If you're desperate, that's the way to do it. Hopefully, you still stop by and grab some flowers, although they may be gone by this time. Nonetheless, happy Valentine's weekend to you. Happy weekend in general. You made it through another one, and welcome into the program as usual, broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas, here at the Hooser Media Network studios. But we are all over the country. So many great radio affiliates across the nation doing our thing.
We'll do it live.
That's right, as we do every single weekend on the show. Big one lined up for you. A lot of things happened this week. We are in a partial government shutdown again. Is everybody scared? Are you worried about it? No, it's okay. Everybody's zen. I guess the government shut down in part to 3% of the government. The Department of Homeland Security. We'll cover that here in just a minute. Plus, Larry Behrens will be on the show bottom of the hour. He's with Power the Future, powerthefuture.com. And we'll talk about the energy market, a big announcement from the Trump administration on deregulating the EPA and letting the markets flourish in the private sector, letting energy markets do what they need to do. So we'll have that conversation in just a little bit. Dave, our great producer down in Dallas. What is up, my friend? Always great to have you. We have Trumpy Bear, our executive producer, and Cornelius, our green-headed alien, sitting behind me, observing the future, observing the world and humanity on a regular basis. Ready, by the way, for that transparency and for that disclosure that's going to be happening relatively soon. Big show, though, as we have a lot of big news from this past weekend.
It's your week in review.
And now we have inflation numbers and economic numbers for the month of January. That's a big win. We should be very happy about those, right? Yeah?
We did it!
I think we should celebrate. I mean, we have inflation at 2.4%. That's lower than what we had seen this past year, for sure. It's actually the lowest inflation that we've seen since March of 2021. What does that mean? That means the Trump administration has been had a really great economy at the end of his first term, 1.0. Joe Biden took over in January of 2021 and then started repealing all of Donald Trump's economic policies. And by April, May, June of 2021, we started seeing the economy go bad. So bad, in fact, that we saw a 30% inflation cumulative growth over a 4-year period. Now, in a year, Donald Trump's been able to get that back down, and hopefully we can see that continue on. Job growth happening as well. So overall, things are going relatively well, according to Scott Jennings with CNN.
If I were in their shoes and telling a story, there's plenty here to tell. It's wage growth and inflation. Wage growth in January was 3.7%, inflation 2.7%. So prices are never going to reset back to, say, 2016 or 2017. That's not going to happen. But what you want to do is have people's wages outstripping inflation. That actually happened in January. So you have a smaller government, an increasing private sector, wages outstripping inflation, median rents are down, the lowest in 4 years. The stock market is up over 50,000. That does help a lot of people who are active investors and also people that have 401ks and pensions, et cetera, et cetera. You know, if what their predictions are about a boom in 2026 come true, you can see how this might turn around for them in the election cycle.
Yeah, things might turn around a little bit for Republicans for sure in the midterm. The golden age of America is officially upon us, and could we just be seeing the teaser of what's to come? I think that's relatively good news. Inflation down and the wages are up. That means people are going to be happy. What's unfortunate, and Scott Jennings is right, been a big fan of him, by the way. He does a great job by calling out some of the shenanigans on CNN, that he's right. We can't deflate. We can't, unless we see this major stock crash, we see a major recession or a depression happen across the nation. You're not going to see the economy go back to what it was prior to Joe Biden. So we kind of have to just eat the fact that we had a 30% cumulative inflation rate over a 4-year period under Joe Biden. They're not going back down. The affordability issue that Democrats tried to use for the beginning of the campaign season for midterm elections, affordability, things are too expensive. They started complaining about that 2 weeks and 2 months into the Trump administration last year. We're not going to get back to what we were. It's not going to happen. I would like to see it happen, but it's not going to happen. So we need to allow wages to grow, more jobs to grow, and for us to get caught back up to compare to where inflation is, and we're on the right step. But when that begins to happen, Dave, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, my great producer down in Dallas. I don't know if you've noticed, but when the economy starts to work, when a Trump policy begins to take hold, when we start doing what we said we were going to do and the results are coming in and they're positive results as Republicans and as Donald Trump, that's when we start seeing the shenanigans and the games being played by the other side of the aisle, because now we have a partial government shutdown.
It's your week in review.
And it all is played in the politics and the game of Department of Homeland Security and ICE and the push to abolish ICE altogether. And that is their sticking point. Now, I will say that with that, that's what, 2-3% of the entire federal budget. What are we going to see impacted? Well, if you're flying around, you're going to start seeing some delays because TSA workers, if they choose to work without pay, that's cool until they get furloughed back. If not, they're going to be walking off the job, and you could be seeing some delays there. We are going to see most federal workers with security, so with Secret Service, with border security, with ICE agents, with all these people that fall under the Department of Homeland Security, including FEMA, by the way. They will all technically be working, but they will be working without pay until we actually get them funded, which means who knows how many will stick on until they finally go off and do something else to try and bring in a paycheck to cover their, regular bills. Chuck Schumer, Democrats don't really care because while things continue to be functioning, they're looking at redemption. And by redemption, I mean they're looking at trying to show they have some type of political leverage, some type of political capital after the disastrous shutdown we saw back in October and November of last year. The longest government shutdown in American history, where they got nothing, zero, zilch, nada, and it's really unfortunate. So if that's what they're trying to push, they're trying to redeem themselves with a minor government shutdown where it's not going to affect a lot. We feel a little bit of the pressure, a little bit of delays at the airport. We just write it off as just kind of a normal thing. And they feel like, hey, we're doing something relatively important. Because when you give the Democrats an inch, they take 2 miles. The hearings that we had seen this week were pretty pathetic that happened in Congress with Kristi Noem and with Pam Bondi and with the ICE director asking about some of the most absurd things because they have now opened the Pandora's box to allow the radicals to advocate for a complete abolition of the agency and ICE altogether.
Mr. Lyons, do you consider yourself a religious man?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, how do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
Okay, hold on. That's Dave, just jump on for just a moment. How sick do you have to be when you start saying you're going to go to hell because of the job that you do on a regular basis? Like,
you got to be really sick.
Come on, man. That's like a whole nother level of mental health issues here. And I mean, personal attacks, she's not allowed to do personal attacks. That's what we've seen. And she's like, hey, oh, you're religious. Great. Do you think you're going to go to hell? Come on,
Mr.
man.
Lyons, do you consider yourself a religious man?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, how do you think
She's so
Judgment Day
excited.
will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
I'm not going to entertain that question.
Oh,
ma'am.
okay, of course not. Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to entertain.
Of course not. How many
The
government...
gentlelady will suspend.
She went on, by the way, to say this is exactly why that we need to abolish the entire agency and the entire department. So the cat's out of the bag. Look, Democrats used the disguise, and Republicans fell for it, unfortunately, in the Senate by saying, yeah, let's separate and split off the appropriations for Homeland Security. We'll pass the rest of the appropriations. We'll reform this, and we don't want to abolish ICE. We really want to do just some little minor reform, make them change their uniforms, make them take the mask off, make them put body cameras on. We want to do just some minor things. We can negotiate those. Those should be a bipartisan thing. And then we'll pass the appropriations for Homeland Security and everything will be fine. Don't worry. And sadly, unfortunately, stupidly, Republicans ended up falling for it. Like, okay, sure, why not? I'm telling you, they should have just rammed it through. I don't know why they did separate it. I think that was a big gaffe on the Republican side, unfortunately. In the Senate, they should have said, no, yeah, you need to pass this. If you want to do reforms, we can talk about that afterwards. But sillily, if that's a word, then Republicans were like, sure, let's go ahead and split this off. And now we see these types of radicals come out of the woodwork. They crawl out of the sewer system and say, we're going to abolish the entire agency. So now we're stuck in limbo. What are we going to do? John Thune out there, well, they're going a little bit too far. We're not going to cave that type of level. That's a little crazy. And we're okay with this? I don't know that we necessarily are. But now we have the government shut down, and I don't see any end in sight. I think it's going to get really bad again in these particular areas. Look, we're just weeks after a major severe snowstorm where we had a lot of power go out. We had a lot of people's heat go out. In fact, in Zohran Mamdani's world out in New York City, that apparently is still going on. They don't know how to plow the snow. They have trash building up right now. They were losing heat all over the place, and they don't know how to solve the problem. Welcome to your communist utopia. And they blame FEMA because FEMA's not going to be there to take care of people. FEMA's part of the Department of Homeland Security. TSA and the travel is going to get worse, and Democrats feel like they can put the pressure on you to make us angry at Republicans for them shutting down the government. They haven't quite figured out that they're on the wrong side of everything. And it's kind of sad because I want both parties to work generally in the same direction, even though we have different views on issues, on policy, and how to handle certain things. I want us as a nation to generally go in the same direction. And we're not. And in fact, one sees you as a political pawn where if they can abuse you, then they can benefit with their own political capital. And Chuck Schumer, who's now being defied by many on the radical left, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and some of these other radicals in the B squad right now that are hijacking the party and that are doing their own thing. They're just kind of running rampant. Chuck Schumer realizes that, feels the pressure, and may get primaried out in 2028 by AOC or somebody else. And AOC, of course, one of our favorite people here on this program.
I am told this is a garbage disposal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And by the way, we have some audio from her later on where it is hilarious watching her on the global scene. There was a piece actually this week that showed that AOC is now going to numerous different events. Everybody's looking at her for certain endorsements in races around the country for the midterms, that she is now going on the nationwide stage as the future potential leader of the Democrat Party. And if that's the future of the party, man, you got some things coming. I'm telling you. You have a great eye-opening coming because the majority, I truly believe this, and Dave, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I truly believe the majority of the Democrat Party are still relatively moderate. They're the blue dog Democrats. They're the good old blue-collar workers and truck drivers or factory workers, and unfortunately they fall for this idea of unions and trying to buy into the union thing. But the Democrat radicals have hijacked, and Democrat voters do not hold them accountable. So now you have this tear in the party that we'll talk in more in depth a little bit later, where you have the hijackers that are really holding the party to where you can't get anything done. And in the Senate, especially when you need the majority of a filibuster, 60-vote majority on that one, you can't get any Democrat to work with Republicans at all, except for someone like a John Fetterman, but the government shut down because of it. And you have this political power struggle between AOC and Chuck Schumer on who's going to have the most capital. And Chuck Schumer doesn't care. He calls the SAVE Act Jim Crow Laws 2.0. They say that we're going to defund ICE altogether. We're not going to go through this enforcement kind of thing. It's the Gestapo of the tyranny of the Donald Trump administration. None of it's getting solved. And I don't know what the negotiations are going to look like. So I don't know how long we're going to see government shut down, but get ready. Well, thankfully, God bless our law enforcement. God bless the people that are getting their pay cut and continue to do their job across the nation, our border security. But when things start to go well, you notice it, is when the Democrats start really acting out because they don't want it to go well because they need something to complain about. Affordability was their big issue. Donald Trump addressed it, and now they're focusing on security issues, and they're going to start complaining about how the country's unsafe after they shut it down because of their own government shutdown policy. Very strange, man. We got plenty to cover here. Stay right here for the Voice of Reason's Weekend Edition.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone? We put the power of the universe at our fingertips. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
It's your Patriot on the Prairie. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, it is. Welcome back into the program. Great to have you here for another weekend edition. By the way, if you want more information on the program, you can go to our website, HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. Highly recommend that you do. We have a bingo card on our website for you. It is an FTP. You can download it, print it off, put it directly onto your refrigerator, but we have some predictions of what may happen this year in the political season, and it's all the same bingo card, so everybody will win or everybody will lose, but I'm curious to see how many of them actually come true. Go to HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. It's right there on the home page. You can download that and save it, print it off, do whatever you want to do, and let's keep a tab on the political flavors as we go through this year in the midterms of 2026. Also, our social media handle is at the same, at Hooser Reason, and if you want the podcast of the show on everything we talk about throughout the week, this program on the weekend, and anything else, just type in on any of your favorite podcasting sites, The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. You know what I love about the issue with the Department of Homeland Security, the government shutdown, is that this happened after the unfortunate shooting of Alex Preddy up in Minneapolis, And Democrats went all crazy. They lost their minds and said, we're going to reform ICE. We're going to reform Department of Homeland Security. We're going to separate this. Why? Because it was the sexy flavor of the day. Never let a crisis go to waste. They had an opportunity to go after Donald Trump, to call him the Gestapo, and to go after the agency that they wanted to do so. Now, thanks to the Trump administration, thanks to Tom Homan, thanks to what they've done, they're leaving the area. They're not leaving completely, but they've left, I think 700 individuals, ICE agents ended up leaving, and then they did another round of people leaving. Like, their job's done. Their missions that they went there to do, they're over. So now everything's de-escalated. People have moved on because we do have very short attention spans in the world of politics. We've forgotten all about this issue, and Democrats are now still hanging on desperately to the issue, thinking it's going to be a major issue. I really don't think that it is. Like, it's not a big thing any longer, and thanks to Donald Trump, thinking 5 steps ahead, as soon as they made it an issue, it was all done and de-escalated. So well done, Donald Trump, right?
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Yeah, there is that one. So, hey, I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean. I've been taking Lean since the beginning of the year, and I think you need to as well. If you have given up on your New Year's resolutions, don't. You still have an opportunity. Everybody right now is talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. But what if you're looking for weight loss but not interested in the painful injections or some of the pretty intense side effects? That's why doctors created weight loss supplements called Lean, and the results are pretty remarkable. The studied ingredients in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it to energy, and curb your appetite and your cravings so you're just not as hungry. But Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. Doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for the frustrated dieter that wants to lose 10 pounds or more. Let's get you started right now with my listeners. When you use our promo code, you get 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan as soon as possible. Go to TakeLean.com, TakeLean, L-E-A-N, TakeLean.com, and use the promo code REASON, R-E-A-S-O-N. When you do that, you get that 20% off right out of the gate and the free rush shipping. Do it right now, TakeLean.com, and use the promo code REASON. All right, as the government shut down again, my prediction, I don't know what exactly it's going to look like and how long we're going to shut down. It's not an issue now. The majority of Americans still want ICE. Maybe they want some reforms, maybe some tweaking on ICE, but it's not going to be a popular issue for long as they focus on affordability that Donald Trump's winning on, as we focus on foreign policy that Donald Trump's winning on, as we focus on economic growth and the golden age of America that Donald Trump's winning on. We're winning across the board. They have to find an issue. That's kind of why they've gone back to the identity politics, which is the SAVE Act, and the racism and how dare that women have to show the change of name, and the people are too poor and too stupid in order to try and vote by getting a voter ID. It's very strange how they've tried to make it derogatory against the people that they supposedly represent, but that's them. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the program as well. Plus, when we come back, we'll go to the energy market. Major announcement of the Trump administration and the EPA with Lee Zeldin on some deregulatory reforms, which I'm pretty excited about. It's the Voice of Reason's Weekend Edition. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and
that was a quick 30 minutes.
Yeah, abuse power and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals.
So we know you like it cold. Do you prefer it cloudy or sunny?
Want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with
me too.
episodes and your favorite guests.
The clouds make me lazy.
Latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family.
Oh, now that's good. That's something that happens to me.
Right. By going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. But yes, normally if I'm trying
Andy's
to be out and about,
latest
even if
product.
It's cold, I enjoy the sun.
Me too.
Hi, it's your Voice of Reason product spokesperson. And if you're like the average progressive socialist in America, the celebration of the end of the Donald Trump presidency is ongoing. The problem is that Joe Biden may not have been the candidate for you to get the things done you wanted to get done.
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
But now I'm here to say, don't worry. Your concerns about a dementia-ridden racist elite are just minutes away from disappearing with our all-new Voice of Reason product. Now introducing the Voice of Reason's Biden Basement Starter Pack. Now, just 1 year into the Biden administration is the perfect time to get your Biden Basement Starter Pack and finally begin to understand the mind of such an unrecognized genius.
The Biden Basement Starter Pack includes your Joe Biden decoder ring.
Now you can truly understand the secret messages that Joe Biden was really sending to his supporters when other people thought it was just gibberish.
That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air.
Your progressive white supremacy exemption card.
Let's be honest, you're just as much of a racist white supremacist as the evil conservatives that you hate, but with your white supremacy exemption card, you're completely immune from the transparency and accountability of racial comments or thoughts that you may have, giving you more time to focus on destroying Republicans for the evil, closed-minded bigots that you know that they are.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Your brand new crisp but $100 bill.
If Nazi Republicans won't let you pass universal basic income, or as we like to call it, child tax credits, the next best thing is a newly printed bill with absolutely zero value. Show it to your right-wing friends and remind them that you're entitled to that cash just for existing. Plus, when the economy you create is so good that everything doubles in price from inflation, you'll be prepared.
Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion worth. Out of $1.4 billion. It's hard to even say it, it's so much. And by the way, it's cost a lot of money. It cost about $740 billion over 10 years.
Also enjoy your crime immunity card.
Sure, crime rates and hate crimes around the nation are rising all over the place, but now with your crime immunity card, you'll be completely protected from criminals taking advantage of the loosening liberal crime laws. Just show your crime immunity card to any criminal that you may come across and let them know that you support their movement to balance out injustices in society. Who needs a gun for protection when you have your crime immunity card? It's all included in your Biden Basement Starter Pack that's available right now.
But wait, there's more.
Order now and get the latest item that's now included in your Biden Basement Starter Pack. Now introducing your all-new, never-before-used crack pipe.
Say what?
Freshly minted from the Department of Health and Human Services, the Biden crack pipe will help with all your injustices in your life and raise your government-valued equity. It's the perfect way to forget all about the worries and gaffes of the Biden administration and continue to be that leading example of leadership in the progressive movement. And now you can get your Biden crack pipe in multiple different styles and colors. And for a limited time only, when you purchase your Biden Basement Starter Pack with your new Biden crack pipe, you can get your own personalized handwritten letter with tips and tricks on the best way to use your crack pipe directly from the aficionado himself, Hunter Biden.
Say what?
It's 4 incredible products, your Biden crack pipe and your personalized Hunter Biden letter, all for one great low price. Take your support for the Democrat Party and the Biden administration to another level with the Voice of Reason's Biden Basement Starter Pack. Low promotional price does not include inflational adjustments. Your Biden Basement Starter Pack may be delayed in shipping due to supply chain issues caused by successful Biden economic policy and current COVID-19
Find
mandates.
more products from the Voice of Reason online at HooserReason.com.
Looking for more reason? Well, now you can get even more content from the Voice of Reason through our Patreon site. It's your exclusive membership for being the ultimate Hoosier-holic. On our Patreon, you'll get additional interviews and content that we don't get to air on the radio, behind-the-scenes action from the Hooser Media Network, plus one-on-one video streams where you can catch up with me, guests of the show, and other great Voice of Reason supporters. Plus, you can also support the show by checking out our gear and swag. Find the link on our website at HooserReason.com. Again, that's HooserReason.com. Become the ultimate Hoosier-holic.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
All right, great to have you back. Welcome back into the program for your weekend edition of the program, and covering a lot of ground. As you know, the Trump administration made some announcements at the end of this week, working with Lee Zeldin and the Environmental Protection Agency on major deregulatory moves. Wasn't the big sexiest thing. A lot of the media didn't really cover it, but what does it do for the energy markets? Where are we at with gas prices, energy all around? And after the Snowmageddon, what really happened? Happy to have on the program to talk about all of this and more. One of our favorite groups here.
Let's go to the Hooser Media Hotline.
That's right. Really happy to have on here. He is with our friends over at Power the Future, powerthefuture.com. Mr. Larry Behrens. Larry, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Andy. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing great. Happy New Year. It's so much to get to, man. And I love the fact that every time that you and I have been talking for the last few months at least, we can talk about good things. We're actually moving in the right direction. We're deregulating. We're focusing on energy markets again. We're actually, doing things right. And we went through a cold front, the Snowmageddon we saw just a few weeks ago. And Larry, I didn't hear about the cases like we did 4 or 5 years ago when we had power outages and people dying from not getting enough heat. We didn't hear that. It sounds like we're moving in the right direction here.
Isn't it amazing when you go back to traditional energy, then it's actually there for you when you need it? Yeah, absolutely. That was, I don't know what the weather folks were calling it, a once-in-a-decade storm or whatever. I had about 6 to 7 inches of the global warming dropped on my house here, and none of the electricity went out. And we did a study right after the storm, Winter Storm Fern, and we found that the 3 energy sources that were keeping the lights on for the most people was, number 1, natural gas, number 2 was coal, and number 3 was nuclear across the United States. That is what was keeping the lights on. And I know a lot of millions upon millions of Americans rely on natural gas for heating as well, but there needs to be electricity to turn that fan to get that heat into your house. And so for electricity, it was those 3 sources. Wind cratered out. The sun was there, but not when the temperatures were really nasty at night when people still wanted heat. And it was funny. If you take a look, if you go back and look, because the Energy Information Administration puts all this together, hydropower in the United States actually surpassed wind power. After all the billions and all the effort for wind, it was the hydropower that actually for a little while surpassed wind. That's how much it cratered out.
Wow.
So solar and wind contributed about maybe just under 13%. Everything else, natural gas, coal, nuclear.
That's really interesting. I'm glad to see nuclear pop up on that map because nuclear has been discussed for a long time. We haven't really changed or updated a lot of the technology in the nation for a while. I like to gloat being here in Kansas where I'm flagshipped. We just had the announcement of that trial experiment of that mini reactor that's like a mile underground in the small town of Parsons, Kansas, from this startup company, which is really kind of neat. I'm glad that nuclear is finally showing that it's resourceful, that it's efficient, that it's cost effective, and that we should start looking more into this industry.
Absolutely. Anything when all the leftists forever say, oh, we're all of the above. Well, no, they weren't. It was really just solar and wind.
Right.
When you are really all of the above, you're going to let innovation and the market choose. And let's be clear, over the 4 years that Joe Biden was in office, when they were throwing billions at solar and wind, well, let's say you were an entrepreneur or innovator in the nuclear arena. You're like, well, there's just no money for us right now. There's no opportunity to innovate right now because all the money is going to, sun panels and windmills. Well, now that everything is opened up and the free market is determining things again, innovation is going to be happening again. So I'm glad to hear they're doing some good things. I assume they're talking about small modular reactors underground there, which is exciting for the future. But yeah, it keeps the lights on when a lot of things don't. Are
we seeing now, like I mentioned, in this startup here in Kansas, are more states talking about doing the same kind of thing and investing in it, even not beyond just states themselves, but even the data companies, the database centers, and the artificial intelligence, where Trump has essentially allowed now these private companies to say, hey, if you're going to be sucking so much energy, build your own energy plant and do your own thing. Is that where a lot of them do you think are going to go to?
I hope so. And where I have to just really giggle, and I know his name is being rightfully dragged through the mud, but when you look at Bill Gates, he has been one of the forefront of the green movement over the last 20, 30 years. But lo and behold, when Microsoft needed energy for their AI, they wanted to spin up 3 Mile Island again. They weren't turning to wind and solar. And so it's clear that they want reliable energy for them. But to your point, yes, President Trump is wisely telling these data centers, you guys need to have your deals ready to go because otherwise a bunch of consumers and ratepayers should not be on the hook for paying for your data center. That is your business expense, and you need to be figuring that out as well. But it all points in the same direction. We need a lot more energy, and we needed it yesterday. That would have been the best time to start building it, but the second best time is right now, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That's a really big change in policy as well, just in general, allowing a private company to say, if you're going to be using a lot of energy, build your own energy resource. That's, completely different from what we've seen in the past with other administrations on both sides of the aisle. Kind of a unique idea, isn't it?
It really is, because and what happens is, you can slap a large data center on the grid, but what's going to happen is it's going to spread that cost over all those ratepayers, and those ratepayers are not getting any profit from that data center. They're not getting any type of benefit from it. It just treats itself like a big power user. So yes, the data center is paying for the power it uses, but the infrastructure and the wattage needed to build it was still footed by the ratepayers. And so for President Trump to say, yeah, you guys need to be making your own deals, that helps protect ratepayers, which is a huge deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're talking with Larry Behrens, Power the Future, powerthefuture.com. You mentioned natural gas is one of the main resources as well, especially during that cold front. A few years ago, we had issues with natural gas reserves and having enough on the market when people started using more all of a sudden because of, well, shocker, it's cold outside and we want to use more energy to try and keep our house warm at that time. We didn't see that issue this year. Have we done a better job in preparing ourselves for crazy weather during a season when that's expected, in order for us to not have to buy things on the market at that time, when my gas prices at that time a couple years ago went from $3 a cubic foot of natural gas to $600 a cubic foot, and I turned around with the next month with a $2,500 natural gas bill. That was kind of insane.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And that was the subject of volatility, right? That was, we had another guy in office and people who are in the natural gas business saying, I don't know what he's going to do to us in a month or two. I don't know what he's going to pull the rug out from under us. Look what he did to those Keystone XL guys. He can take decades worth of work and just wreck it in a heartbeat. And so when it comes time to need the natural gas, then lo and behold, there wasn't enough and we were worried about it. That's not the case. President Trump has introduced stability back in the market, saying your product will be used, we will be needing it. Because the fact of the matter is the natural gas that we're all burning right now to keep warm was extracted about 6 months ago. It takes time for the process, transport, storage, and use of that fuel. And so in order to do that, you need to have stability. And that's what we didn't have under Joe Biden and we do now. That's why the experience is much different.
Yeah, that's really awesome. That's why I love talking to you guys right now, because everything seems so positive in the direction that we're going, which leads us to, let's talk about the announcement we saw from the Trump administration just a few days ago. Lee Zeldin with the Environmental Protection Agency announcing some deregulatory moves from the EPA. Again, another major step. The EPA has been a big hurdle on the energy market in general. What was this announcement and what's it going to do to the energy markets?
Yeah, and let me tell you, this is, I may get myself in trouble, but this is the most important thing that they can do with the most boring name. I mean, so the name of it is they repealed the endangerment finding. And that's not, I understand that it's not going to raise anybody's whiskers. But the fact of the matter is, here's what Barack Obama did in 2009. He said, you know what, we're going to make greenhouse gases the be-all, end-all of world evil, and we're going to make sure that every consumer product coming into, purchased, or manufactured in the United States is going to have to account for greenhouse gases. And mostly that was aimed at the auto industry, but it showed up in a lot of other places as well. And that was really the hammer that the eco-left used to pass a whole bunch of things. California's EV mandates, the Biden EV mandates, every little rule with your diesel trucks, every little rule with the farm equipment. It was all under this endangerment finding. And President Trump has said the science, and it had, scientists look at it, says the science doesn't support this. It doesn't work. We are repealing it. So the left is going to lose their mind. And the EPA, President Trump rightly pointed out yesterday that, that automatic start-stop feature that pretty much everyone hates. I've never met anyone who likes it. That is a result of this rule. And so it's little things like that you didn't know that Barack Obama snuck in, didn't take it through Congress, that have inched their ways into our lives. And the one that is kind of most telling to me is anybody who's owned a diesel truck or purchased one within the last 10 years knows that it has another system in it. Besides the engine that makes it go and all the other systems, it has a system that captures your diesel exhaust, heats it to a massive point, trying to dilute a little bit, and then allows it out. And that's why new trucks, I don't care about your brand, have had trouble going on beyond 250,000 miles. It's not the trucks are built badly. They're built better, but it's this extra diesel system that was required again by this rule. And so I'm hoping those systems are getting stripped. I hope the auto start stop is getting stripped. It's also, to go back to our other point, it's also going to make it easier to build power plants in the United States. So this is a huge generational move that we absolutely needed to see happen. I'm glad President Trump did it.
Yeah, I love that. And the fact that it's so weird to me, and it's such a hypocritical statement to say we're going to go green, we're going to put all these regulations on the auto industry, but what the regulations do end up making the vehicles not last as long, which means now you have to buy more vehicles, which then puts a strain on all the raw materials that you have to do to build it. It's such a hypocritical thing to say we're going to make it not last as long because it's built cheaper, but we're going to save the environment for the little bit of time that it's running. It breaks my brain thinking about this.
It does, and it hasn't made any real progress, right? And that's what the research shows on it. And so, yes, those systems, those extra systems that went into our cars and trucks, hopefully they can get out of there so that, the trucks are more reliable and they are then less expensive. So not only less expensive to buy, but less expensive for the people who, build our homes, who make the products we use, who grow our food. Yeah. And that has a bleeding effect and to make everything more affordable. And so the EPA says that we have spent $1.3 trillion in extra costs as a society trying to keep up with this rule. And so they hope that this will, like repealing it, will lower the average price of a vehicle $2,400. And so I know a lot of Americans would love that opportunity.
Absolutely. Let's continue that conversation in a minute, Larry. Larry Barron's Power of the Future. Got to take a break. Back after this on The Voice of Reason.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians pass a budget as the deficit.
That went good there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Every month,
he's a great
unelected
guest.
bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
As you know, I'm always looking for a good snack, but it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives. But now that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. I promise you'll be addicted. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
For more information, go to takeonesmallstep.com. Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy The Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
Where Hoosierholics gather every week. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, darn right. Welcome back into the program. One segment left for this hour as we wrap things up for the hour here on the program. Really great conversation we're having with Larry Behrens, Power of the Future, powerofthefuture.com, representing the oil and natural gas and energy industry here in the nation. Larry, let's shift gears to the economy overall. We heard the news this week that inflation down lower than expected for the month of January. That's awesome. We're getting prices back under control with the idea of affordability, which has been the talking point from Democrats for a while. What does this do to the energy market? We already have record low gas prices, diesel prices still lingering a little bit, but they're coming down. But for overall prices of goods and how that impacts the energy market in general, what can we expect moving forward here?
Yes, absolutely. I feel bad because part of my job is knowing these things, but I think now nearly every American has become an expert in this. They realize when the price goes up at the pump, the price goes up on everything. I think before they would think, well, how does the price of the pump affect my bread? Well, now they know it goes into everything. And when the price goes down, it affects everything too. Absolutely. Inflation was down, and that's because the price of gas was down over 3% just over the same time, just within the last month. And so that is a huge opportunity for Americans to have more money in their pocket. And I know leftists like to say, well, it's not that much. It's only a few cents. Listen, that is said by people who have been grifting off the government for years. For those of us who work for a living, understanding that saving $15 a week on gasoline, well, that $15 can go elsewhere now. And that can help us in a lot of ways and make things more affordable and give Americans a little extra breathing room. It's overlooking the things that are important to Americans that has, cost the left, the White House, and Congress. And hopefully, I just love, and I tweeted it this morning, I would love to see where all those affordability Democrats are now. Inflation is down, as you point out. The cost of eggs is down. The cost of gas is down. Real wages are up. People forget during Joe Biden's time, real wages dropped 1.4%. That's the buying power of our money. President Trump has almost eliminated that whole drop in just his first year. And so a whole lot of good economic news, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Well, inconveniently, we always like to say on this program that they might want to cover up their desperation show in just a bit. They're conveniently not talking about affordability anymore. That's a term they're not even using because they realize that, Donald Trump already addressed it. He had been addressing it for the past year, and now we're seeing the golden age of America pop up, which is really exciting. Larry, last question for you. We got just a couple minutes left here, but the reserves of oil, of natural gas, are they getting better, not only with our production and what we're allowed to do, but also with the global market, working more with OPEC, trying to get American oil onto the global market and maybe push out Russia a little bit with that conflict, which has been a plan for Donald Trump as well. But where are we at? Are we getting more stable with what's in the reserves in case something happens?
Yes, it's such a great question. And just for some context, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve holds about ballpark 700 million barrels of oil. Joe Biden drained it down to 350 million barrels. And so if it was a national gas tank, it was about at half. President Trump is refilling it. And here's the fantastic part. When you see that price per barrel go down, that means we're able to buy more oil for it, right? Because and part of the Big Beautiful Bill was dedicating funds to refilling the SPR, and so we can actually buy more oil with less money when the price of oil is down. And something, that, again, didn't get a ton of attention, but President Trump announced last week was a strategic mineral reserve. So just like we have it for oil, we're having it for critical minerals so that we are less dependent upon China, and we have more of a supply so that our supply lines keep running even when there's instability in the world. It's a good move.
It's a good move across the board. We are, as I kept saying, we keep moving in the right direction. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. The golden age of America right around the corner, which I know we are all excited about. Go check them out, powerthefuture.com. Powerthefuture.com. Go and see all the great work that they're doing representing oil, natural gas, nuclear, and so much more, keeping us powered and stable in a first world country the way it's supposed to be. Larry, we appreciate it very much, my friend. As always, keep up that fight. Got to get you back on again soon.
Thanks again, Andy. You're the best. Have a good one.
Yeah, you as well. Larry Barron's Power the Future, powerthefuture.com. Loving having those guys on to talk about the energy markets. And again, did you feel the impact like we did 4 or 5 years ago with that snowmageddon compared to what we saw this year? Completely different story. Under Biden administration policy compared to Trump administration policy. And those little things, that's why elections matter. That's why the midterm elections matter coming up here later on this year. And that's why even though we don't hear about everything going on in Washington, D.C., and we're frustrated with the way Congress may be not acting on particular issues, the deregulatory move has been kind of universal under every cabinet, under every agency, under every bureaucratic state under the Trump administration, deregulating and focusing again on the private sector. We don't hear a lot of that news, but then we say, well, things are running smoother and we just don't know why. Well, that's why. And we're excited about that. We want to continue to see that moving along. We have to see that move along, and thanks to the Trump administration for making that happen. But we'll talk more about that again a little bit later. We are out of time, though, my friends. As usual, be your own voice of reason. Be that catalyst for change in your local community. Let's get ready for the big election and continue to follow the golden age of America. Until then, I'm Andy Hooser. It is the voice of reason. We'll see you back on the radio before you know it. Bye.
1 hour down.
Hoosier.
You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against
I think that went pretty well.
censorship and even unfast.
That went fast. It did go well.
Heck yeah.
That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the voice of reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the voice of reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast, become your own voice of reason, and bring your expertise to any fun issue or for information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media. Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to the Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring the Voice of Reason live every day on their website at OpsLens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community.
All right, let's do this thing.
I'm ready.
Yeah, buddy. One down, another one ready to go.
And soon 3.
That's right. And soon 3. Oh my gosh. All right, I just found a whole bunch of political Valentine's cards.
That ought to be interesting.
Should I read them on the air?
I think so.
All
Why
right.
not? It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day. I'll read a couple
It's a
of
good
these.
way to break up on Valentine's Day. Get a political card they don't agree with.
That's right. I like it. All right. All right. I may
Save
read
you
a
a
few
lot
of
of money.
these. Be a great way to start off the hour.
Your SRN program begins in 60 seconds. Your SRN program begins in 30 seconds. Your SRN program begins in 10 seconds. Your SRN program will begin in 5, 4.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation in the Hoosier Media Network studios, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your weekend edition of The Voice of Reason. It is so great to have you along for the ride, man. It has been a wild week, a crazy one indeed, and here you are. You can kick back, relax, and enjoy. Your political therapist has officially arrived, as we do every single weekend here on the program, broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas, at the Hoosier Media Network studios. We are all over the country. So many great, wonderful radio affiliates across the nation, our video streaming, podcasting, and so much more as we continue to...
We'll do it live!
That's right. That's the way we roll here. Our friends over at Americans for Prosperity, they will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. Elizabeth Patton, great friend, regional director for AFP. She'll be joining on what to do to prepare for the boots on the ground in the battle for the upcoming midterm election. Kind of excited about that one. Yeah, so we'll have that chat coming up at the bottom of the hour. Dave, our great producer down in Dallas. What is up, my friend? We have Trumpy Bear, our executive producer here in studio, and of course Cornelius, our green-headed alien friend, observing humanity on a regular basis. By the way, before we go any further, happy Valentine's weekend to you. Hopefully you've done something special with that significant other, and you two can enjoy. And I don't know, do what you do. Take them out to dinner, or the roses, or the chocolate, or the air freshener at the gas station. I don't really... Is that a thing? Yeah, right? I know. Okay. By the way, Dave, jump on here for a minute. I found, and I think it's a great way to start this off for Valentine's weekend, I need you to give me a rating on some of these. I have found some political Valentine's Day cards that I think are probably appropriate for this weekend. Thumbs up or thumbs down on how this might turn out if you get it for your significant other. You ready for this one?
I am ready. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Number one. This one is a picture of Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City. And here's what the card has to say. Roses are red, violets are blue. Communism doesn't work, but you and me do. Yeah? Up.
That one's okay. I'd say thumbs up, I guess.
Okay, all right. Don't sound too enthused about that one, but all right. Communism doesn't work, but you and me do. I think it's pretty clever. Well done. All right, here's another one for you. This one has a picture of Ilhan Omar, Congresswoman from Minnesota, on this one. Are you my brother? Because I'd love to marry you.
I give that one a thumbs up. I like that one.
That's a great one. Well done on that one. All right. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. My mom may have taken too much Tylenol because I've got a special interest in you. Oh, I like it.
Oh.
Well
All right,
done.
thumbs up.
All right, that's a thumbs up on that one. All right, Nicki Minaj and Donald Trump on one that says, I think you're super based. Now, I don't know what based means. I know it's a new term lingo. I'm not that old. I'm a millennial, but the new lingo, man, I don't understand what that means.
I'm not that cool. I have to give that a thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down on that one. I don't know. Super based. I may be good. It's just, I don't know what based. I'm assuming that's like hip or cool or retro or, back in the 60s, 70s. Far out, man. Like, I think it's that, but I don't know. Here we go. All right, Don Lemon. All right, you invaded my heart like a church service.
Oh, yes, I like that one.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right, here we go. Gavin Newsom. Are you a 2028 presidential nomination? Because I want you really badly. Ooh, I like.
Ooh.
I'll go with that one. I can dig it.
Yeah, I'll give that a thumbs up.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Governor Tim Walz. I'd love to lear more about you. The Learning Center's learning more about you. Lear more about you. Well, okay, I can I can go with that one as well. And then finally, one with Joe Biden that just has a bunch of letters and numbers because he didn't know what he's saying. So well done. The
thumbs up on that one.
Thumbs up on that one. The Valentine's Day cards that you can give your significant other this weekend, and you're welcome. So if I'm helping you out on the last minute of, I forgot the gift, you're welcome. Use those cards as you like. And well done. All right, we got a lot to talk about this weekend. Let's get into what's trending, shall we?
It's your week in review.
So we are apparently one step closer to the passage of the SAVE Act in Washington, D.C. It did pass the House of Representatives this week. One Democrat supporting it, a 218 to 213, 214 vote. So it did squeak through, now sitting in the Senate. I am curious to see how this moves forward in the Senate because Republicans apparently have to whip. And for those that don't know, by the way, inside ball game here is when they talk about whipping, there's actually a majority whip, a minority whip on both chambers. The Republicans and Democrats, they whip their caucus together to make sure that all caucuses in line, make sure they're all ready to vote for it, trying to win over their own people. They have their whips. I don't know why we have to have that. You would think that Republican values are Republican values and so on and so forth. So you would vote based on the values of your party that you supposedly represent. But, we do have wicked, wild, independent thinkers, which is good to do at the same time. Nonetheless, we are working on trying to get enough votes in the Senate. And I got to admit, I'll be the first to admit here, I'm confused on how this process goes. Some things need the filibuster 60-vote supermajority. Other things do not. I had heard one elected official, and I want to say it was Mike Lee, Senator Mike Lee from the state of Utah, where he's working on apparently saying that we don't need the 60-vote filibuster supermajority here. We just need a simple majority, which would be very easy for us to pass the SAVE Act. And going into an election season, when we really need to show Republicans are codifying the Trump agenda, we're going to get things done, we're actually working towards a goal, and during a partial government shutdown that were done by the Democrats because of them not wanting to fund ICE and abolish the agency and all this other garbage that they're trying to do, that it would be a really good step when 80% of Americans, Democrats, Republicans, independents alike, want voter ID for us to pass this simple thing with Republicans in support. We're getting there. Apparently, we're getting closer because, according to Senator Mike Lee, it's not a procedural vote, but it's a policy vote. So, therefore, we don't need the filibuster. I don't know if that's true. Because then we see on the headlines from Fox News saying that Mike Lee's campaign gains a crucial vote, but faces the 60-vote Senate filibuster challenge. So I'll be the first to admit, I don't know whether we actually need the filibuster or not. It sounds like it. But just like the House of Representatives, only one Democrat supporting it then, it sounds like in the Senate, there may only be one Democrat that actually supports it here as well, and that's the only rational Democrat that we've seen from the state of Pennsylvania, and that's John Fetterman.
It's not like a radical idea. It's not something, and there already are many states that show basic ID. So that's where we are in the Senate. So I would never refer to the SAVE Act as like Jim Crow 2.0 or some kinds of conspiracy. But that's part of the debate that we were having here in the Senate right now, and I don't call people names or imply that it's some kinds of things, something gross about the terrible history of like Jim Crow.
Yeah, now it should be common sense. Again, 80% of Americans believe in it, and for those that don't know, we're going to do a quick constitutional history class here, where the Constitution itself only gives one parameter on how to do an election. Just one stipulation. You have to be a U.S. citizen and abide by the rule of law. That's it. You're under the jurisdiction of the law and you're a U.S. citizen. That is the only stipulation the Constitution says in order for you to vote. That means, just like anything else, if you have that one stipulation, you have to validate or verify said stipulation and to become, to show that you are a U.S. citizen, period, end of story. You cannot be a non-citizen. You can't be an illegal alien. You can't be a diplomat. You can't be someone from a foreign nation representing a foreign nation to come in here and try and vote in our elections. You just can't do it. So the Constitution itself does not give a stipulation on how to verify that one thing, so it's left up to states. And most states have some type of voter ID law, something. Many places don't. New York, Chicago, California, ironically, all the deep blue areas. Not only have they not passed laws on voter ID, maybe at a statewide level they have some generality out there, but major cities themselves have actually passed laws and resolutions at the local level to ban anybody from actually showing some form of identification when they're actually in the polling place. And their argument is that it's racist, that minority people, black folk, Hispanic folk, Asian folk, whoever, they're too poor and they're too stupid to know how to actually do it. That's been the argument, and do not take my word for it and be like, Andy's saying racist garbage. That's not true. Those are actual quoted audio clips that we've heard from years ago when we were talking about voter ID back in the day. And I mean like back in the day, like George Bush era times back in the day of 20 years ago, when we heard about this, and people on the street saying, no, what are you talking about? Like, I have my ID, I travel, and I buy alcohol, and I have a home, I have a vehicle, whatever I do, I have to have some type of form of identification to function in society. What are you talking about? I don't need to not worry about some type of identification, but according to Democrats, who say they represent said classes, that those classes, those groups of individuals and the identity politics and the boxes that they put them in, they're too poor and too stupid to figure out how to do it. Now they take it a step further with the SAVE Act, and they say, well, the SAVE Act makes women actually have to validate that they are who they are, that if you have a name change, then that puts voter oppression in, even to the point, according to some Democrats, of violating the 19th Amendment. Oh, yeah. Do I have the audio? I think I have the audio clip somewhere. I'm going to have to find it. But Democrats now have openly advocated for saying that the SAVE Act now violates the 19th Amendment because it makes women actually go through hurdles. Now, again, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe that, again, if you're on a credit card, if you have a driver's license, if you're on a mortgage, if you're on anything and you have a name change, you have to show that your name changed based on the documents to show either a birth certificate or a marriage license or a divorce paper or whatever. Kind of common sense. But they don't like it. And in fact, they go off their hinges to try and go against this stuff.
There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country. And
this
it's
is
going
so
to
weird.
disenfranchise
I smell,
black
I'm sorry, we got to stop that. I smell the desperation here because, look, it should be common sense. If you have to validate yourself on everything else out there, and in fact, you had to show your vaccine card and you had to prove that you were wearing masks and you had to prove that you only had so many people in your establishment during COVID. They were all about this voter information. They were all about personal data collection. They're all about the metadata. They're all about the FISA courts, which, by the way, they were talking about trying to attach the SAVE Act to the extension of the FISA spending, so that way we can continue FISA courts and we can continue having the government surveil you, collecting your metadata, collecting your emails and your cell phones and your text messages and everything else. They're okay with all that. Voters, nope, we don't want that. That's going to be really bad. And if we do that, what?
We're all going to die because of you!
It shows the desperation, and it really shows that this is a system that they do not want touched. Because while they say that it's putting some guardrails on the rights of American citizens, again, you already prove your own point. You have to be a U.S. citizen. How do you validate that you're a U.S. citizen? You have some form of identification. It's not that hard. Most places do it. A lot don't, and the places that don't do it are the ones that we're having trouble with potential fraud and we not knowing exactly what's going on in the first place. So while the Democrats are really hanging on to this, desperately clinging on to the fact that this is a whole bunch of racism and Jim Crow laws and so on and so forth, it goes against even their own constituents when 78% of Democrats say they're in support of voter ID laws. The question is, and I have this for you Democrats, trying to help you out here as a Democrat Party, when are you going to hold your elected officials accountable? Because they've been able to go as radical as they have because you don't say stop the stupid or we're going to get rid of you. You got to live by better words, right?
I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck.
Lots more coming up for The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com and use the promo code REASON. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
It's America's political therapist. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, terrifying you on a weekend basis. Welcome back into the program. A lot of the stuff we just talked about in the last segment, I know that a lot of listeners are saying, Andy, we already know this. We've talked about it for a long time since the SAVE Act has been coming up. But I want you to think about it in a slightly different manner here. Not just on the common sense that the SAVE Act has, not just the popularity that it has from both sides of the aisle, 78% of Republican, or 95% of Republicans, 78% of Democrats. I want you to think about it in the reflection of elected officials on how they're properly representing you going into a midterm election. Because remember, everything being done right now, since the beginning of the year, every policy, every bill, every grandstanding in a committee hearing, every statement from a politician, every town hall meeting, every quote that they come out with on social media, everything they do is for the political purpose. Is to grandstand and to tell you what they support, what they want to do going into the election to make sure that you support them. And Democrats right now continue to say that voter IDs are Jim Crow laws and that they're racist and that they're oppressive and creating voter suppression when 78% of their own party actually says they support the idea. So they're not actually representing you in the best way. Again, Democrats, I'm trying to help you here. Let's move it together in the generally same direction as a nation and as a people, because right now you got Chuck Schumer that's desperately trying to cling on to some sort of power. You know who's going to be replacing Chuck Schumer pretty soon? None other than our favorite person, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I am told this is a garbage disposal.
Because there is a major rift in the party right now for the Democrats, and the radicals have taken hold because you're not holding them accountable, which is really unfortunate. And now AOC, there's a headline this week that showed that AOC is now going to be the future leader. She's being the one being looked at for endorsements of candidates. She's on the global stage. She was at the Munich Security Conference just past week. Why the hell is AOC in Germany at the Munich Security Conference? And they were asking her about geopolitics around the world, and she didn't know what to do.
The U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move? I think that this is such a, I think that.
What?
This is a.
That goes on for about 30 seconds. And then she kind of sort of comes out, well, we want to try and create policy to prevent that from happening in the first place or whatever. Now, simple question. If China invades Taiwan, do you support Taiwan and do you get involved militarily? Well, come on, man. That's kind of crazy. That's the new leader of the Democrat Party. That's what they're looking at. Then you got Gavin Newsom out there trying to be Mr. Moderate. I oppose the wealth tax that California is doing because it's driving people out of the state. It is, and you're right, but you've always supported it until you all of a sudden wanted to be friends with them to fund your presidential campaign for 2028. Then you got crazy people out there like Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith, who apparently now is rumored to run for president in 2028. That would be hilarious. ESPN sports commentator that has his politics on sports, his podcast now talking more politics, going after Democrats for being so angry about Trump.
Let me tell you something right now. The hell with impeaching Donald Trump. Just let him go away. Just let him go away. What does that do for the country? I mean, all he's going to do is say it's a witch hunt. It's vindictiveness. It's vengeance. It's going to give us a reason to look at the Democrats and say, oh, you were just out to get them. It's going to give the Republicans a reason to say, see, we're being victimized by them, and nobody's running the damn country. I'm talking about the House and the Senate, not the president. Enough of this. Enough of this. You convicted him 34 felony counts. How many more convictions can they give him, Michael? How many more? What did he do? Not only did he not go to jail, he went to the White House.
I mean, guy's not wrong. He's a little feisty, a little fired up on that one, but he's not wrong. I mean, that's exactly where the Democrats are, and he's calling them out on this. There's a major battle in the Democrats. The elections are up for Republicans to win or lose, and it's very simple. Susan Collins has now come out as a Republican, and I say that in air quotes, says she's supporting the SAVE Act after major schmoozing on her to try and get her to support it. This should be a slam dunk for Republicans to win the American people.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
Man, this goes by
Andy's
so fast.
latest product.
Yes, it do. It's already almost done. We got 30 minutes to go.
I know it.
The Hispanic community is radically diverse in the United States. Some would say.
So do any of the stations you have up there, do they do remotes anymore?
Oh, yeah. We have remotes all the time.
Man, that's one thing that's weird about this place is there's never any kind of remotes or anything.
Yeah, it's hard with network radio, but I mean, local radio stuff, absolutely. We do,
here in San Antonio.
High school basketball, high school football. We just did a remote this morning.
Oh, that's
for
so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
And diversity that every member of the Hispanic community gets to enjoy every single day. Joe Biden's very all-new breakfast taco special from the Voice of Reason.
Hola, amigos. I'm Adan. Your Joe Biden.
No, it's weird. They sold all the contemporary music stations, and now they don't have any vans out front. It doesn't look like a radio station at all around here.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
Or other may need.
Start off with a thick layer of potato season with fresh and delicate spices of Mexico.
Yes, they do.
Perfection.
Yeah, talk radio is hard to do.
Not only are we tough on the outside, but soft and lovable on the inside.
Next, enjoy the 2 large huevos.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Complete without our famous huevos. They are there for all to enjoy.
My goal, man, one of these days, I'm going to own a
is the
talk
true
station.
sign of diversity and uniqueness in the culture, as there are just too many options.
That would be so awesome right there.
Chorizo, pork, bacon, vegetarian. The choices are endless. We have a flavor for everyone, but you won't know if you like it until you try it, and we like it all.
Finally, your Jill Biden Adon breakfast taco is always personal.
I've always thought it'd be fun to have like a little translator or something like that.
Be found in the ever-expanding diverse culture of Latin America.
Top me off with your favorite great tasting cheese, sour cream, or gravy. But don't forget, what sets your breakfast taco apart from any other breakfast taco is a little spice.
Forget the salsa from the supermarket. It's time to do the real spicy direct from Mexico with the slices of jalapeno, habanero, or red chilies. Plus top all off with your favorite Valentina or Tapatio.
Show off your unique diversity with your very own Jill Biden breakfast burrito from the Voice of Reason. Order now and multiply your diversity with 2 Jill Biden breakfast tacos, all for the price of 1. It's the Voice of Reason's Jill Biden breakfast taco. Are you diverse enough? Coming to a restaurant near you.
Ándale, ándale.
Andy's latest product. Find more products from the Voice of Reason online at HooserReason.com. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Are you still battling COVID-19? Wanting to find ways to limit your exposure to viruses that kill off humanity?
Oh, the humanity.
Now you can. It's time for you to get the all-new Voice of Reason product, the CDC Rona Fan. The CDC Rona Fan is not like your everyday ordinary fan. The CDC Rona Fan is the latest in technology that uses the unique and original purification process called the Breath of Fauci. And it's simple to use.
Oh my gosh, I just got my CDC Rona Fan and it's perfect. I can feel the COVID particles disintegrating out of the air in my home. And even though it's wintertime, I just open my window wide open, I'll slide my CDC Rona Fan right in, crank it up to full blast, and now I can have as many people over for the holidays as I want. And I'll never have to worry about transferring the virus to anybody. Just feeling the chill in the air, I know now that I'll never get sick again. Thanks, Rona Fan.
The CDC Rona Fan kills the Ronavirus at the same rate of any immunity your body can build. And it comes in all shapes and sizes to best fit your preferred personal identity and housing decor.
My mommy and daddy got the Fauci fan yesterday. They opened up all the windows of the house and put the fan in every one of them. They said it would make me nice and healthy. I can't feel my toes because it's so cold now, but they told me now that the Donald Trump virus won't kill me. They must be right when they tell me to listen to the government and do everything that they tell me to.
Order now and for a limited time, get an additional CDC Rona Fan half off. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you'll also receive the CDC-approved Fauci bobblehead. Scare off deadly viruses just by placing your Fauci totem in each room. Battle the Rona with freedom and Fauci-controlled options with your Voice of Reason CDC Rona Fan.
When reason meets radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back to it. Great to have you here as we're moving through the weekend here for The Voice of Reason. As you know, we've been focusing a lot of time on the midterm elections. I know they're later on in the year, but the campaigns are already starting now. So get ready because you're going to have a lot of things thrown at you very quickly. And the question is, where are you standing? Are you engaged? Are you still excited? Or are you just kind of complacent and sitting back on some of these issues? That's where I want to go to with our next guest on the program as we go to our...
Let's go to the Hoosier Media Hotline.
And as you know, we have a great partner here on the program with Americans for Prosperity, americansforprosperity.org. As we get back on the program for an update, looking at numerous different states around the country, regional director that oversees South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Indiana, Kansas, and so much more. Really happy to have on the program Elizabeth Patton. Elizabeth, how are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, doing great. Always great to chat with you. And I'm so excited. I always get giddy during election season, and I've been talking quite a bit about it already on the radio show. But the big question we're going to have this year is voter engagement, voter turnout. Elizabeth, you oversee, 5 or 6 different states across the nation as the regional manager and regional director here. What are you seeing early on for the preliminary election season? Are people fired up right now?
You know, not as much as I wish they would be. I think they are from an issues perspective, but what I really need to see is people translating that into understanding that elections have consequences, or remembering that perhaps, and getting ready to vote and get informed and get passionate about educating their friends and neighbors as well, so we can have a really good, strong midterm.
What is the hesitation, do you think? Are they just fatigued? I mean, I know we came off of the presidential election a year or so ago. We had the special election in November last year where we saw some Democrats win some really big seats. We saw socialism like Zoran Mamdani and others that really took hold. Is it just fatigue? Is it frustration? What do you think's going on right now?
You know, I think center-right voters, they're busy, right? They're living their lives. They're trying to make sure ends meet for their families. And I think what you saw is a really strong fervor from the left, and you see a very activated left. And that doesn't mean that the right doesn't care, but they are not as activated, especially in these off elections that we've seen in the past few months, as the left is. And the left is very angry right now, and that has fueled that activity. And what we really want to see is folks on the right just to, not necessarily, I'm not asking for the anger at all. I'm asking for perhaps passion, or just to understand the gravity of why it really matters to be ready and informed and excited to vote this year, and make sure that we are not losing the progress we've been able to make in policy, from down ballots all the way to the top of the ticket. It really does matter. So to have that intensity back on the right is going to be key in making sure that we don't have a midterm that requires us to change any trajectory on either the federal or in state.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know that we kind of get complacent, especially on the right side of the aisle. Once we do win a couple big elections, we just kind of sit back. Like you said, we go about our life, we go to work, we just do our thing. And we're going into what we'd like to call the golden age of America, what Trump's trying to call it. And I think we're starting to see that already. We just saw the inflation numbers come out this week on the fact that inflation slowed down dramatically, which is really good news. We can't lose that momentum, especially if Democrats get a hold of Congress next year or at the end of this year. If we lose that momentum, then we're going to be back to square one.
Absolutely. And, history bears out that midterms do not usually go well for incumbent presidents, but it's such a razor-thin margin anyway, and it's already so difficult to build, policy coalitions, even with a razor-thin majority. Like, we have to make sure that this is an election where we can prove that history doesn't always have to repeat itself in the same way, and that, in fact, Americans like this economic trajectory we're on. It's important to continue to vote for, if you like what's going on right now, keep it up. Otherwise, don't get complacent. Don't take that for granted, or it will go away.
Yeah, that's very true. You mentioned the emotion, the anger, the rage coming from the left side of the aisle. I say this all the time in speculation, and so far I've not been proven true. In fact, it always goes the opposite way. But I would think that such a high-intensity emotion like anger, like rage, like fear, like whatever they think on the other side of the aisle, that eventually you got to have burnout. You can't sustain that level of intensity for so long. And, they get angry for a really long time that eventually you just kind of tune out because you can't handle it any longer. Elizabeth, unfortunately, I haven't seen that because they always continue to show up and try and vote that way with that intensity and that anger.
Yeah. They do. And I think, with it has come, it's all about perspective, right? And when people feel like there's that emotion of hopelessness or that anger, it does continue to get fueled and fueled. I don't see it dissipating out. And what we really hope to see is folks on the right who understand just the impact that good policies have. And, we see the left has run repeatedly on affordability, right? So you saw them do that in Virginia, and you saw them win some elections in Virginia on affordability. But what have they turned around to do? They've turned around to just try to impose extremely high taxes in Virginia. And so it's a combination of just the left being activated and also people falling for this false promise of affordability from the left when the answer has nothing to do with affordability. It's, again, just like we see time and again, tax and spend, tax and spend, tax and spend. And you know what? If you want affordability and you want things to continue to your point, to have inflation lower and to have more money in your pocketbook and have a better economic outlook, you need to stick with the folks who are trying to do that in real ways with policy solutions that don't take more money out of your pocket, don't expand failed programs. You have to be able to discern that, and it's not from the left.
We're talking with Elizabeth Patton. She's a regional director for Americans for Prosperity, our great partners here on the radio program. Do you think that we're starting to see wake-up calls? And what I mean by that is in the past week or so, we saw a special election for a state Senate seat in Texas that's been predominantly Republican. It's a deep red area, but Republican voters didn't turn out, and a Democrat won that seat. Now, it could flip back probably at the end of the year. Do you think that's a wake-up call that people are saying, wait a second, we better start paying attention again?
I hope so, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Is you have an activated left and a right who is living their lives. But, guys, this matters, and you really have to feel just as activated and passionate about good policy as the left does. And it doesn't mean that you have to be angry, but you do have to be excited, and you do have to go turn that into action. And that's where every vote matters. And I know that it is hard every election cycle to feel like everyone has a voice. But I'm guessing there in Texas, I don't know, but I know here in Kansas, there are elections that are won by 8 votes, by 31 votes, by literally every vote matters. And it changes the policy trajectory on just so many items that affect our daily lives and affect that affordability. I don't know how to stress even more that your voice matters when you vote, and you have to watch yourself and make that time to vote. Otherwise, if you don't vote, things still happen and you just don't get a say.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity we have here, right? I mean, we're seeing a lot of, I want to say there's over between 20 to 30 now elected officials in D.C. and Congress that are not running for re-election, running for governor seats, or just retiring together. There's an opportunity right now to where you could really curb the way that Congress addresses certain issues, have some fresh blood up there, and go the right direction. But, this all comes down to, again, policy and voter activation. But, I mean, this is an opportunity we don't see very often, is it?
It's not. And that's where true power in the form of government we have, it lies in elections. Like, that's how you change things. You change things with elections. You change things with your vote. And it is powerful. And I think that's one thing that really want to emphasize the gravity of that to folks on the right. I think the left feels that and they understand that, and they that is highlighted by their actions. And I think on the right, we just need to make sure we're not taking that right for granted, that we understand the significance and the gravity and the importance of it, and that we are exercising that right every single time you have an opportunity to do so. Otherwise, you will get spoken for. And that's not fun.
No, absolutely not. Now, obviously, you focus on a lot of voter engagement. Your boots on the ground. You're organizing a lot of these different door knockings and campaigns and the grassroots level, which the right side historically has done very, very well compared to the other side of the aisle. How does that look? You're starting to gear up the soldiers, so to speak, to go start marching and talking and knocking on doors throughout the year.
Look, I think I've got doors going on in every single one of the states I cover, and I know they're doing doors in Texas. I've seen it on social media. AFP Texas is out knocking doors all the time, and there is always activity going on. That is really how you're cutting through the noise, right? We're having conversations, having real meaningful conversations. We are not just hanging door hangers on people's doors. We are having conversations. And that is the difference, and how we are trying to cut through some of that noise. I know that commercials get annoying, mail gets annoying, I get it, but those conversations matter to educate people on what's really going on. And that happens every single day. I know here in Kansas, we are knocking all the time. And I can guarantee if there's something you care about, we have an opportunity to get involved on it. So it's never too early to start having those conversations. And door knocking is happening now, and that is a key central aspect to winning that narrative and winning that election, is having conversations with real people.
Well, that's exactly it. We can see the different TV ads or radio ads all the time they want, but with the actual door knocking, talking to people, boots on the ground, we've done predominantly well. And unfortunately, the conservative side, as Republicans, as a official Republican Party, we used to do really good at that. We've kind of slacked on that some bit, but because of that, you guys have been able to fill the void with Americans for Prosperity and kind of filled that gap that the market has needed. But even with all the money spent on different TV ads, radio ads, campaigns, billboards, whatever, that at the end of the day, having a conversation, having that connection with people, boots on the ground, is more effective than anything else. You just need the manpower to do it, which is what you guys have been doing, spending so much money nationwide trying to talk to people on numerous different policy issues, and it's really exciting. Elizabeth, hang on the line. We got to take a break here. It is Elizabeth Patton. She is the regional director for our friends over at Americans for Prosperity, americansforprosperity.org. When we come back, I want to shift gears, talk about D.C. a little bit, and not just Trump himself, because there has been some big wins that we've seen under the Trump administration this past week, but what Congress can do, where Congress is at right now, in the importance of these statewide elections. Back after this here for your weekend edition of The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, D.C.'s broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
When it comes to something like sausage, I know you want the best quality, the best flavor, and the best in services. Andy Hooser here for J&S Smoked Snacks. And it's time for you to try their handcrafted sausage, made in small batches for freshness and seasoned with their signature blends. You won't find anything else like it. Make sure to try their one-of-the-kind dill pickle sausage made with real pickles, or spice things up with my favorite, the jalapeno cheddar sausage. Taste the difference today at J&S jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever. Every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
For more information, go to takeonesmallstep.com. Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy The Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hoosier Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HoosierReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HoosierReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hoosier Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosier-holic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosier-holics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hoosier Media Network. Find out more information online at HoosierReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with The Voice of Reason.
Radio for the next generation. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Thanks, Trey. Welcome back to it. It is The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser, moving through your weekend. One segment left for this hour as we get ready to wrap things up for the hour. We're talking with Elizabeth Patton, our regional director for Americans for Prosperity, overseeing many of the states that we're broadcasting in right now: South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Indiana, Kansas, and beyond. She's all over the place. I don't know how you do it, Elizabeth, but as you're focusing and kind of gathering and rallying the troops to do the boots on the ground campaigning, as we kind of went into the break talking about, what is the topic of choice that many people are talking about, the concerns they have when you are seeing people at the doors and talking to them in the streets. What's the main priority? Is it economics? Is it energy? I mean, what's going on right now?
It is, and it's about energy rates. Honestly, people feel their rising energy rates. I mean, gosh, even here in Kansas, they just got raised another 10% on residences, on schools, on businesses, and that's happening all over the country. And people feel that so much. And when you have utility monopolies, that's as good as the tax increase, right? The 10% tax increase we just got. And so people all over the country, I'm hearing that across the board, it's energy rates. People want lower taxes. They want to keep more of their hard-earned money. They want to see bigger paychecks. And it is just looking at the affordability of their groceries and their everyday items that add up so that, their families can have quality of life that they are hoping for. It's part of the American dream. And that affordability is achievable with the right policies.
Yeah.
And it's not government solutions. It's free market policies that drive down the cost for all of those items, even health care, when you're giving people options and not when we are taxing and spending and growing government.
Yep, that's exactly it. Policy is a big issue, and that leads to Washington, D.C. Let's talk about them for just a moment. We saw the announcement, speaking of energy and the EPA with some of the regulations on energy. We saw a big announcement from the Trump administration this year, just this last week, which is really good. Here's a question, though, Elizabeth, is that a lot of people still are frustrated with Congress, and especially Republicans in Congress, not codifying the Trump agenda, and very frustrated that Trump's been doing all the work, but Congress hasn't been solidifying it on their end of the deal. Is that making it difficult for people to want to turn out to vote as well when Congress isn't doing what they need to be doing?
I will say this. I usually would agree with you on that Congress does not usually get a lot done. Sometimes that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, right.
That's sometimes how the founders wanted it.
Yes.
Let's not get anything done, guys. But I will give Congress this, especially in the House. They have gotten some really key permitting reform done. They've been working on those energy reforms. You saw, to your point, they are working on a handful of pieces of legislation and trying to get those things done. They got the rescissions package done. They got the working family tax cuts done. And so as far as an operational Congress, even with a razor-thin majority, considering everything that they are facing and having to negotiate to get things done, I have to give Speaker Johnson especially and Leader Thune some props for building some coalitions to get good policy done. And I hear it, and I know that it's never quite as fast as we hope it is when it's good opportunities in front of us. And I feel that deep in my soul. I used to work on the federal side, and it moves slow.
Yeah.
But I say if we don't continue to put in folks in the center right who have achieved quite a bit, even for Congress, on that affordability front, and to your point, trying to lower EPA regulations and support those types of policies. Like otherwise, it will go in the other direction, and the alternative is a full stop. And so if you want even incremental progress in the right direction, but I think it's going to be even better than that as they have the momentum and ability to move forward. If you want to see any more of the Trump agenda get codified, I mean, there's no shot if you don't go vote, even if you're frustrated. I would say your member of Congress is trying, and they have gotten significantly more done than you would expect than normal Congress, especially with as fractured as they are.
Yeah, and it's really good news, the fact that we're aware that you guys are pushing that, letting people know that things are getting done. Maybe not at the pace that we want to, but we need to expand those margins, right? We can't do anything unless we have more Republicans in there to get the job done.
Exactly. Expand those margins, and that's what speaks, and that's what will help Congress have the confidence and the ability to have those votes. Sometimes one vote matters, and that's the difference in whether something passes or fails. We saw that with the working family tax cut. Like, you've got to have the votes to do it. And that's why elections matter. That's why we're in politics at AFP. We're in politics for policy. And you only get good policy done when you have good people in office. That's why it all matters.
That's exactly it, my friend. There's so much to talk about, and we want to get you back on again soon. I know we have governor's races. We have some other big elections going on across the nation, even at statewide levels, where state policy is just as important. But we are out of time, my friend. Got to get you back on again soon. Elizabeth Patton, Regional Director for Americans for Prosperity, americansprosperity.org. Keep up the fight, my friend. Let's get you back on for another update soon.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You bet. Always love getting Elizabeth on the program. Rocking it, my friend. Regional Director for AFP. But we are out of time this hour, as usual. Back at it again before you know it. Until then, be your own voice of reason. Be that catalyst for change in your local market. We'll see you back on the radio soon. Bye.
All right, I think we should do it again next week.
Oh, yeah, we should probably do it again next week. I think that'd be fun.
That would be a good thing. All right, well, I will keep an eye for beef jerky, and I will see you next week, or talk to you next week.
That sounds good, man. I appreciate it as always.
To catch the voice.
All right, take care.